Howdy, I'm Repton, and this is Repton Does. I wanted to share 25 tips to those just getting started in Satisfactory. Let's get to it. Tip number 1, find quality resources. When starting your first base, aim for nodes better than impure iron, copper, and limestone. A poor quality node is like building your dream home on a swamp. You'll be sinking before you know it. If you're feeling adventurous, explore first. Otherwise, start automating quickly to unlock field exploration and map node quality. Either way, don't settle for less. Tip 2, collect everything you see. As you run around, hoard like a squirrel prepping for winter. Leaves and wood power your early game. Alien fauna are great for research, and healing items save your bacon after an unexpected alien brawl. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later. Tip number 3, deploy portable miners. Build portable miners and deploy them. Those little guys are early game lifesavers. They don't need power, which is great, so they're perfect for kickstarting your hub upgrades. Think of them as your factory's first employees, just don't expect them to clock out. I like to build about 30 to get 10 on iron, 10 on copper, and 10 on limestone. Tip number 4, start compactly for your initial build. Keep your first base small and simple. The goal here isn't beauty, it's functionality. Set up your machines close together so you can automate production quickly and avoid spending hours crafting manually. Think of it as your practice round. This setup is temporary. You'll be tearing it down soon enough to build your dream factory. But for now, embrace the chaos. Keep it close, keep it ugly, and get those upgrades rolling. Tip number 5, get to solid biofuel ASAP. This makes collecting grass and wood a little less of a pain since it lasts so much longer. Biomass is about 80% better than just leaves, and solid biofuel is about 20% better than biomass. Given we are getting started mode and not running a huge power plant for a real factory, this is huge in our hub. Tip 6, get the chainsaw running. A chainsaw isn't just a tool, it's a lifestyle. Once unlocked, it lets you clear out pesky trees and bushes quickly, helping you gather wood for solid biofuel. It's not just satisfying, it's efficient. Tip 7, research early in the MAM. Get the MAM up and running quickly to kickstart your research. The earlier you research, the sooner you'll unlock game-changing upgrades like better power options, scanning tools, and advanced materials. Don't let that research queue sit idle. There's always something new to discover. Tip 8, build the object scanner. The object scanner can feel like a luxury, but it's a game changer for finding resources like power slugs or crash sites. Once you've unlocked it through the MAM, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. It's basically your in-game metal detector, minus those awkward beach moments. Tip 9, prioritize hub upgrades. Those early hub upgrades are quick and provide massive quality of life improvements, from unlocking conveyor belts to getting access to better power options. Each upgrade brings you one step closer to industrial glory. Stay focused, and you'll have your factory humming in no time. Tip 10, automate concrete. You're going to need a ton of concrete, so get it automated early. Concrete is essential for foundations, ramps, and much more. Set up a dedicated miner and constructor to churn out a steady supply, and let it flow into storage containers for easy access. Tip 11, explore on the high ground. Once that concrete is flowing and you're ready to explore, take the high ground. Building platforms and ramps up to elevated areas not only keeps you safer from hostile creatures, but also gives you a great vantage point to scout out valuable resources, crash pods, and other points of interest. Take advantage of lookout towers as well. Tip 12, collect alien organs. Pick off some easy alien critters and collect their organs. These are invaluable for research in the MAM, so resist the urge to snack on them. They're worth more to you in the lab than they are in your belly. Tip 13, stockpile unique resources. If you find quartz, sulfur, or caterium, mine it and store it separately for later use. These resources unlock advanced technologies in the MAM, so even if you don't need them now, you'll thank yourself later for having a steady stash ready to go. Tip 14, automate early. It may feel easier to sit at the crafting bench and make items manually, but trust me, automation is the way to go. Every machine you set up frees you to explore, research, and expand. Plus, watching your factory run itself is one of the most satisfying parts of the game. Tip 15, prioritize screws for automation. Screws are used in many recipes and can quickly become a bottleneck. Automate their production early and consider unlocking alternate recipes through hard drives to ease the screw burden down the line. A little planning here saves a lot of headaches later. Tip 16, smelt near nodes. Keep your smelters close to resource nodes, especially when using portable miners, to minimize transportation time and energy use. Efficiency is key, and the less time your materials spend on conveyor belts, the more time they spend being turned into useful products. Tip 17. Stack buildings early. Use stackable conveyor poles, lifts, and multi-floor layouts to save space and keep your factory compact. Early on, this helps you make the most of limited real estate, and it's a habit that will serve you well as your factory grows. Tip 18. Use splitters wisely. Splitters let you distribute resources between multiple machines, but poor placement can lead to inefficiencies. Plan your production lines with future scaling in mind to avoid bottlenecks and wasted materials. Tip 19. Balance power consumption. Keep an eye on your power graph to avoid overloading the grid. Aim for a buffer between production capacity and consumption. If things get tight, consider segmenting your power grid so you can quickly disconnect non-essential areas in a pinch. Tip 20. Build personal storage. A couple of personal storage containers can be a lifesaver for keeping track of critical or unique resources. Whether it's spare biofuel, extra building materials, or rare finds, having a dedicated stash keeps you organized and ready for anything. Tip 21. Save space with vertical lifts. Conveyor lifts are a fantastic way to keep your factory neat and maximize your space. Elevating your production lines also makes it easier to navigate the ground floor without tripping over a mess of conveyors. Tip 22. Overproduce and store. Start stockpiling excess resources like concrete, rods, and plates. These staples will come in handy for expansions, upgrades, and large-scale projects. Overproduction early on saves time and stress down the road. Tip 23. Think about vehicle paths. At some point you'll be using vehicles like trucks or trains to move resources. While exploring on the high ground, think about future-proofing your high ground paths to serve as potential transport routes. A little foresight here can save a lot of redesigning later. Tip 24. Upgrade belts quickly. As soon as you unlock Conveyor Belt Mark II, start upgrading your key transport lines. Higher tier belts move materials faster, reducing bottlenecks and improving overall efficiency. Focus on critical lines first, like those feeding your constructors and assemblers. Tip 25. Utilize foundations for smoother builds. Even in the early game, foundations make life easier. These create a flat, organized space for your machines and simplify future expansions. Use control to align them with the world grid, ensuring your factory stays neat and expandable and can connect to other places. That wraps up our top 25 getting started tips. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.